Hi, everybody. Welcome to the new normal. It is Friday and it's National Popcorn Day. See my popcorn bowl back here, guys. Make sure you've got your popcorn. Make sure you've got something red to remember everyone deployed. We do that every Friday to say thank you to our servicemen and women and their families. And stay tuned for Westwood. Give us a like, share, subscribe to the channel. That helps us out. I appreciate it. And jump in the live chat with all of our friends right after this. Hey there, Westwood. How's it going?
It's going okay. I mean, can't be hung over still drunk, right?
Correct. You guys were hilarious last night. I caught just the tail end of Hash It Out, and I was glad I did, but it was hilarious because I missed like some of the jokes from earlier in the night. But then I always go back and watch it later.
I'm sorry.
And so then I was laughing because I'm like, oh, that's what they're talking about. Okay.
Yeah.
So then I was
like being in a hot tub time machine, you're going back.
It was a little hot tub time machine, a little bit. You guys were cracking me up. I love when Steak gets all fired up.
Yeah, I love it because it's like his first crypto cycle. And so we see the emotions that he goes through. And we joke about it's like, yep, this time's different. And it's like, yeah.
Oh my gosh, he was so mad. Yeah. It was funny. Welcome to Crypto Compassion Program. We have a new friend in the chat.
I need to make a note real quick before I forget.
Make a note.
I'm not talking a little note either. I'm talking a written note.
A written note. Get your pencil.
I already forgot it.
Oh.
Forgot it.
Was it about Steak?
Oh, son of a biscuit.
And him getting mad?
No, gosh darn it. See, this is what happens. This is why if I don't write it down. Oh, what an idiot.
Too much fluoride. No, I know you don't do fluoride.
Riding the cigars, I don't know.
No. Oh, what did somebody... God, who was I listening to? Oh, the guy who wrote The Great Taking. Which, God, they're pushing that book. They are shoving that book down the normies' throats right now. Yeah. I mean, hardcore. Everybody's talking about The Great Taking. The Great Taking, The Great Taking. I'm like, yes, that was the plan.
Yeah. Now we got Jamie Dimon on the, schooling everybody on, how Trump was right about immigration and different things.
Was that weird? In the same day, Jamie Dimon repeated the Bitcoin pet rock comment, which
he always does though. He's this way and that way. He's like Jim Cramer.
Yeah. Well, but then also told everybody how Trump was going to save the world, which Trump's against CBDCs and which is Jamie Dimon's pet rock. I mean, it was just he was all over the place.
Yep.
I don't know. It's very strange.
It's like George Jones in a car. He's all over the place.
All over the road.
All over.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Man.
Lord. I actually got out of the house, and how when you don't drive for a while, you get out and you're kind of like, everything's a little weird. I'm like an old person. I get in the car and I don't know what I'm doing anymore.
You've been housebound for a while, huh? Yeah. How were the roads today? Because I know last night your bride had said she was having trouble, like the snow was so bad or the drifts or whatever.
How do you know more about my life and my wife than I do?
Because I'm friends with your wife.
Yeah, they were pretty bad. It's the wind. I mean, we didn't get snow, but we already have snow and it's ice down. And then, the roads are, I mean, there's so much wind that they're just drifting now. So you got piles of snow on the side of the road. And so the wind hits it and drifts it over. So you got to constantly maintain it with snow plows. Otherwise, it's going to drift shut. And the Digibug will go in the ditch.
Oh, it's Silvertooth. It's his new channel. Okay, so everybody make sure after this show you go over and follow Silvertooth's new channel, the Crypto Compassion Program. So that's awesome. Congrats.
My boy.
Really cool. Yeah. He's one of the fam from way back. He was at was he at the first Westwood? Yeah.
Yeah, he was actually the first time. Well, I'd communicating with him before, but the first time in person that I met him, we went is at the New Jersey meetup in 2019. He rode with out there.
Okay, cool. Yeah, good guy. Definitely a good guy. Yeah, and then I've been communicating with Alpha Warrior, and I believe he's going to come on Monday. We haven't completely tightened down the time. I think we're going to do it at the 4:00 Central, but I'll put up a post when I get it confirmed for the channel, and make sure that you guys know. But tell his story about getting swatted and also his time serving in the Marines and as a police officer, and his great service for our country, and then how he was treated later. So nice.
On my red.
Cheers. What's in your red? I got a piece of fuzz like in my
horchata.
What is it? Oh, horchata.
No, non-fluoridated water. Sorry, I was slipping into another accent.
Oh.
Non-fluoridated water.
Okay. I thought you said horchata.
Hakuna Matata.
That's way off. I don't even know where I get that. I'm having my own imaginary conversation up here.
That's okay. Trust yourself, and trust all the little people that surround you every day and talk to you.
Mm-hmm. What little people do you have that surround you every day?
They got pointy hats,
Oh, I see. Like this.
Yeah. Anyway, different colored pointy hats.
Different colored pointy hats and beards.
Oh.
Strange things are happening over there in your neck of the woods.
You never know. So, how goes it?
I don't know. It's going. I have people sending me things. Now I know how Bix feels. Like when I send him things, and I'm like, "Oh, what about this?" And he's like, "Lisa, stop." Yes.
Just watch my show.
Do what?
Watch Road to Ruta.
Yeah, just watch Road to Ruta, get the truth, and everyone just chill out.
Mm-hmm.
And that's funny. Yeah. I had somebody tell me that like I shouldn't have gone on JC's channel and that now I'm suspect and whatever. And I mean, just people say crazy things. I'm on a list. Yeah. I'm like, whatever. I'm not afraid of the truth. And I am not associated with some other person that person mentioned. And anyway, it was ridiculous. So, yes, I agree, Tom. It was stupid. But anyway, but what's going on in the world? Oh, I saw that Elon got another state transmitter. What does that say, Westwood? Hold on, I have to make you big because I can't see it.
No, that's all right. I'm big enough. Dog Dad.
Dog Dad. Yes, you are.
Dog Dad.
Every dog shall have its day.
Every day here at Westwood.
Oh, back to Popcorn Day, just real quick. I saw a bunch of people posting from the cue boards and stuff that today might be, or they were leading up to. Some of them were saying it's going to be like the 410. What were they saying? 410-20 or 410-23. They're talking about shot heard around the world. But then also talking about today being National Popcorn Day. And I know Trump's speaking again later tonight in Concord,
New Hampshire.
New Hampshire.
Hampshire.
And that was a comm too, or a thing, something about Concord. So
shot heard around the world, right?
The shot heard around the world. Yeah. I also heard that the Republicans put up a bill to defund, was it the WEF or the WHO? Can't remember now. Charlie was reading it.
One of them. It was, maybe it was the World Health Organization.
I think it might have been.
Good. Jeez.
Yeah. And then Elon got, I think, the 13th state to approve a money transmitter license for X.
He's got that many already? You just had Utah the other day, I saw. He's got 13 now?
Mm-hmm. Wow. So he still has a ways to go. And then he was joking around in the same article about having, 500 million. Is that right? 500 million in Bitcoin through X, and then, or through Tesla, and then how much Dogecoin he has personally. And so that was interesting.
When's he going to announce all the Litecoin he's got? Because if you're into Dogecoin, I mean, Litecoin's like right next door. Mm-hmm. Equipment. I mean, come on. When are they stop hiding Litecoin? When are they going to stop not talking about it?
I don't know. Would you talk about the best secret you have? I mean, we were out garage sailing and estate sailing today. And there's this one set of dishes. Polly, if you're watching, yes, I bought another set of dishes. And I thought of you, and I actually told the ladies about my friend Polly. I always think of Polly when I buy dishes.
Yeah, you lose dishes.
Yeah. I'm like, oh, Polly will be so proud of us. We bought another set of dishes. But I really wanted them. And Charlie's like, and these little old ladies came by and they were like, ooh, aren't those beautiful? I was like, yes, I know. I really want them. And they were half off, but I wanted a little bit more off, And then Charlie's like, stop telling people you want those dishes. And I'm like, but they're so beautiful. And he's like, that's not how you get a good deal. Stop talking about it. And I'm like, okay, I'll try. He's like, stop hovering by them. Go away. And I'm like, but I don't want somebody else to get them. He's like, then stop acting like you want them.
That's it. That's the thing.
I think that's a lot of it.
Stop acting like you want them, and then they want you. The dishes will come to you, right?
They did. They came right into the back of my car.
There you go.
Mm-hmm. For a very good price. And I'll be shooting. I shot part of a video there, and on the way there, and then I'll do an unpacking video to add to it so you guys can see everything, and I'll put it over on the Mighty Merchants Mercantile channel so you guys can see that, because it was too fun. And I got these really cool pink glasses too, so I had a lot of fun. It's crazy. What'd you?
Vintage in the chat. I don't know what's going on anymore.
All the vintage in the chat.
All the vintage stuff. I guess I'm smoking a log. That's what somebody said. Mm-hmm. I'm smoking a log. This is actually a big cigar. It's a 64 gauge.
Is that how big it is around?
Yeah, I mean, you can get the smaller ones that are like 30. This is a big cigar. This is 64. I think it's 64. There's one that's the Gurkha Ghost makes a 7-inch by 70 gauge, which is like huge. This is a pretty big cigar.
Smoke them if you got them.
Smoke it up, Westwood. What are you doing? Cutting down cigar trees and smoking them now, man?
Oh, Lord. How long have you been drinking? Today.
Birth. I was bathed and baptized in a pool of whiskey.
Oh, Lord.
No, mom didn't do that to me. That didn't happen.
No, that did not happen. I trust me. I know his mother. Let's see. Yeah, this one. Hussein cabinet staff. Oh, that's where they were talking about today, the Concorde. And then they go into the shot heard around the world. And
oh boy, I need to take this chat up a level. I just contributed to putting it in the sewer. It was in the gutter. I just got to stop.
Oh, and Fanny got her Fanny handed to her. The judge drug her into court for having the affair with the prosecutor.
Yeah, with the other
guy.
Yeah. See, this is somebody said, okay, here's what they do. They accuse you of what they're doing, basically, or they're covering up their crimes by accusing you of something else. You know, that's what they do. So it deflects all the attention off of them and projects it onto you. And that's all they do is project all the crap, you know, onto you and try and bury what they're doing. Is my microphone working or not?
It is. I can hear you.
Right.
Can you guys hear him? Are our levels about the same? Because to me, it sounds like our levels are the same. How does it sound to you guys? Like if I'm let's say 10.
How did I know you were going to say that?
Westwood is a what on volume?
Lisa's the dime and Westwood's the nickel. Together we make 15 cents. Throw in 2 pennies and that's 17.
Hey, JB Rant says audio is perfect. So I think this is the way you should do it.
All right.
5 by 5. We're even. 5 by 5.
I'm gonna roll right like
Greg
this.
Gazoo says double. Cheers. Cheers. Gloria says sounds good.
Double up.
Okay, this is so good. All right. I think we got it figured out.
All right, I'm going to try and turn the fan back on, see if that makes
Leading into tonight's speech from Donald J. Trump at 7 o'clock Eastern. Figured I'd go through this with you. So Delta's today, January 19th, 2018, Q559. Shot heard round the world. Q560, today Delta, shot heard round the world. Q3776.
Taxpayers subsidizing Tesla.
He's actually Q's actually pulling up a Q572 shot heard around the world. The Great Awakening, a week to remember. All three of these are a Delta.
And wasn't today or this weekend a big emotional whatever for Uncle Cliff?
It might have been. I'm not keeping up on Cliff. You need to give me the Cliff's notes on Cliff because I don't even know what's happening. All I know is by April, things are going to start getting a little crazy.
I think it's already getting crazy.
Well, remember the big event, you know, that he and the crypto guy or the viewing guys were talking about? I mean, we're in that window. I mean, I'm waiting any day. Some weird stuff's going to happen, like big.
Yeah. In fact, Jean-Claude was talking with Penny Kelly, and he said that they were talking with some of the remote viewers or whatever, and he asked her what color she was seeing when she saw this event in the sky or whatever, and she said blue. Okay. And he goes, okay, let me get permission. And then he got permission and there were like 3 words, and they said like blue sky and shaking or quaking or blue sky something. And I had one friend say, like, what if it's because it doesn't have to be a negative emotional tension. It could be something really positive.
Right? It's got to blow everybody's mind. It's like, whoa.
Yeah. So who knows?
It's the Stay Puffed Marshmallow Man.
Could be. Could be. And that's right. We're on, it's 444. Now it's 445. But when we were saying that, it was 444. There's some lightning in the sky. We just had an announcement in Oklahoma that the U.S. largest battery grade lithium refinery is going to be in Oklahoma. Right on that, in that Port of Catoosa thing that I kept telling you guys about, that they were going to build that factory. It did get put through, and Arkansas started mining lithium just like a month ago or so.
Really?
Yeah.
That kind okay, where exactly is the plant going? Is it in eastern Oklahoma? Where's it at?
It's just outside of Tulsa,
Okay, so okay.
Muskogee.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. It's in
Mhm.
Okie from Muskogee.
Yeah, because they'll take that, so they'll use the Kerr lock and dam system
Yeah.
and be able to go right to the river and out to the ocean and be able to transport it all over the world.
I'm all interested in that Wachita Mountain area.
Hmm.
That's where all those dog men are.
Or they call it Washita in
Wachita? Okay.
Washita in Oklahoma, but it's
Washita?
spelled, and you may be pronouncing it correctly in the Indian pronunciation,
Wachita.
most likely.
I don't know.
There's the Elon story.
Handling, my past and my history.
Hmm.
Anyway.
North Korea says it tested an underwater nuclear weapon system. They look really happy about it.
Yellow submarines.
Mm-hmm. This little lady is a badass. She is the Oklahoma State Auditor, and she has been uncovering just like massive amounts of corruption in like all these states and like through all this like bureaucracy crap. It's been incredible what she's turned over in the last couple years.
Good.
Pretty impressive.
She's time we get standing up, making a difference, doing something instead of bull crap, making stuff up. Dollar bills, y'all, dollar bills. Hey, the Gazoo's got a good point. He's like, everything's going back into rocks. In other words, everything's going back into assets. America needs to get this mentality straight to where, listen, we're going to produce real things here. We're going to get out of the earth here and have it here. Otherwise, we're done.
Yeah, I think so too. I'm excited about that. And I think that brings back to, I'm curious what your thoughts are on this, Westwood. When people are talking about like, Zim dollars being worth whatever. And well, if we're all for a time exchanging, if the banks go down or people lose trust in banks or whatever, or countries or, like, forget it. We don't trust, they don't trust each other. Right now, the banks aren't trusting each other. That's why they're not buying each other's bonds and lending each other money and whatever. Then countries may be dependent on just what you have in your possession and to trade or barter within states, may barter or trade within other states. I don't know. It could be really interesting. So in that case, whatever currency, I don't think it'll matter if you have a Zimbabwe dollar that has a trillion printed on it, because you can't get stuff out of Zimbabwe, because you're in the US.
Right. It's like right now, it's kind of being underestimated a little bit. We got this whole Red Sea issue. Okay. Yeah. So you can't go through the Sinai Peninsula and the canal there, so we got to go all around Africa. And so you might have resources, but look how long and the effort that it takes to get them there. It's just like, hey, this nation's resource rich. Well, guess what? You can't get the resources to your nation. Hey, water in the desert. You're in a desert. You don't have any water. Bottles of water in the desert are pretty much a premium. If you got a well in the desert and you can pour water, I think you win. And so, I mean, yeah, I agree with you. Currency only works, as long as, people believe in it. But ultimately, it's like right now, here we are. We're going to be negative 25 below again here. A good source of heat might be important. Who cares about dollar bills? You're going to burn them to stay warm if you have to, and not die. So, I mean, it's just, if you don't have a source of heat, then what you going to do? You can be a millionaire and have all that money in the bank and have all that Bitcoin in the ETF. But if you can't get a piece of wood to burn, I mean, what are you going to do?
Feed your family or whatever those needs are. Yeah.
So yeah, if you've got the resources, that's what I've always thought, those people that have the assets, the resources, and that's why I preach it so much. Get your stuff in your possession, know what you need, use these harsh things that are happening, the weather, whatever it may be, as a preparation tool rather than, oh, this sucks. It's terrible. It's cold out. I'm thinking, all right, what do I need to do if this lasts a month? How do I survive next winter? What can I improve to, like have a backup to a backup? And so that's, you got to think that way and then have it, and don't think that, oh, well, I'll just order it when I need it. Just like my furnace, I got 2 pieces today that, I mean, they're obsolete, antiquated. You can't get them anymore. But I found new old stock that, they haven't been made for 20 years. So I ordered 2 of them, and I'll probably never need them. But if something happens, I got to change that relay switch. I got it on hand. So, you got to think that way, have everything you need to like keep going.
Yeah. I know Janine was even talking about like, go get, and Cliff did this. I don't know if it was last fall, like getting new tires, if you need new tires, all that kind of stuff, because as like America reinvents itself, there will be a time where like we hadn't figured it out just yet. There's an opportunity, for hyper novelty and new businesses to start and all that, but there will be supply gaps for.
Right. Good note on that is, let's say your tires are 50% worn. Okay. Maybe you got a little money, maybe you do well, Bitcoin moons, Litecoin moons, whatever, you got a little extra money, get your tax refund, whatever it is. They give you your money back and now you can use it.
No,
that
they've been earning interest on, and you have, you don't get any of it.
The tires though, and then keep the old tires, because they'll take them and dispose of them and charge you a fee for doing that. Maybe if you got a little room, keep the old tires on hand, because let's say one blows out. Well, maybe somebody that can put the old tire on for you. They got the little contraption to spin it and put it on. So I mean, don't throw those things away. I hate to be a hoarder, but I mean, you kind of got to get in that mentality of, you might want to have a backup, just saying.
Big hugs for Mark Weems and his wife and family.
Yes.
Sorry you guys are going through that.
Sending prayers, sending good energy, sending the frequency.
All of our love. I wanted to share, you were asking about some Cliff Notes by Uncle Cliff. This John Claude put this together, and he talked about the hyper novelty kind of is the data provided by, because Cliff came up with like this term to describe this time that we're going through. The data provided the name by repetitiously putting hyper and novelty into primary positions within the sets and subsets. It started in December 21, was solid trend in March of 2022, and moving into emergent state in February of 2023. We had more sets suggesting emergence about the time we got into it with Dick and the moon stuff in the summer of 2023. No more authority at any level. Ergo, humans have to develop a new way of interactions among ourselves. Bear in mind, we are all born into this structured, hyper-authoritarian structure that allows for the ultimate expression of that mindset, which is top-down, pyramidal.
Yes, pyramid style,
Yeah, I just can't say the word right. Control systems and Babylonian money system, both of which are required to permit genocide, which we're seeing all over. And then number 3, no, hyper novelty has not changed, but yes, my grasp of what it means has changed. I did not understand it was the death of authority. At first, it seemed to be just about new stuff emerging faster than we could cope with it. I did not grok that without the underpinning of authority. All thoughts and information will be suspect and have to go through an entirely different process to get acceptance. Interesting. Okay, so he thought it was originally that we were talking about new like inventions and stuff, but now he's saying it's about throwing off the structure.
Yeah, it's about going steampunk. It's about going back to the beginning and the genesis.
I love it.
And knowing that, okay, you are connected to the universe, connected to God, whatever name you put on it, and then just reconnecting with that. You always had the answers, like you talked about last night. Mm-hmm. Dorothy always had the silver slippers. All she had to do is just activate them. Mm-hmm. And you got all the tools. You just reconnect. You got all the DNA. You got the antennas. You got the frequencies. And they've just tried to onion you over, and cover the core up with layers. And that's all you got to do is just like go back. And the only reason authority exists is because, well, that's the way we've been trained. Well, guess what? You throw it all off and the whole thing collapses. And then you start saying, okay, I'm just as powerful as anybody else on this planet, that tries to rule over me. And I'm going to connect with people with frequency and, reinvent things, basically rediscover things, rediscover who you are is what it comes down to. Authority is just a extrapolation of this rock on your head.
It is a lie. It's a facade. It's it makes me think of those baby elephants, and they tie the chain to them when they're little, and then when they're big, they just have to put like a little rope because they think they're trapped, but really they could walk away at any time if they wanted to. We just think we're trapped. We think we have to submit to, well, because you have to. Well, why? Because you have to.
Just because.
You have to, because you do, because I do.
Right.
You have to, because I have to. Remember, and I got this one video banned and taken off because I played an old what is it with Kramer? Is it Mad About You, or it's like an old Seinfeld, yes, an old Seinfeld episode. Yeah. And they were talking about wearing the he wanted to go for a walk, but he wouldn't wear the ribbon.
But you need to wear the ribbon. I don't want to wear the ribbon.
Yeah.
You must wear the ribbon. You don't care. You don't care. I mean, you don't wear the ribbon.
And he was like, because I don't want to.
But I'm going to participate, but I don't want to wear the ribbon. I just want to go on the walk. But you have to wear the ribbon. And then and
he's like, why? And they're like, because we have to.
Yeah, because we all wear the ribbon.
And that I put it out at the time when the masking was all starting. Yeah. And it was, mass psychosis is what we all went through, basically. Yeah. And bullying, and how do you get, you bully, you make something normal. You make everybody comply, you turn them into good little Germans. Isn't that the saying, or whatever? Yeah. And that's what we all went through, and some complied harder than others, and some threw it off.
Harder, baby, or daddy. That's harder, daddy.
Govern me harder, daddy. Yeah. So, yeah. But what else do you call it, Laura? Right? I mean, wouldn't that be accurate? I mean, the irony that people would buy those boxes, that on the box you're purchasing, it says, this does not protect you against that specific thing.
Yeah. It's like breathing through this.
But at least that, when you buy that, it doesn't claim to not protect you from the thing that you're buying it for.
But see, it's a big myth, and they all laughed at you. And that's the thing. Go back and watch this. I mean, historically, go back and watch this. They all were laughing at you, because in the future, we're going to look back, and our kids are going to say, you guys bought that? You believe that? And it's like, a lot of people kind of bought it. Well, are you kidding me? It was on the box. And they'll have classes to where they're historical classes, like, well, here's a shot of the box. Here's an actual box. And the professor brings it in. Look, you read it. This is from 2020. This is the box. And they were putting it on their face thinking it was going to protect them. But it says on the box it doesn't. I know. It's crazy.
It's completely insane.
Yeah. But we don't want to be excluded. We want to be liked. We don't want to cause any drama. I mean, we don't want to have...
I do it for them. I put the life vest on for them, so they don't drown. Yes. So crazy.
Cigars, whiskey, dogs, and happy hour. We're good.
We're good. Anyway, we are so good.
Here's your path.
Yeah. I'm so ready for a little warmth and a little happy hour in person.
Lisa says, I need a Westwood hug. I need that to get energy. I want to go meet all the peeps again.
I do. I love seeing the people. I love the meetups. I miss the meetups. Like, winter is tough for me. Like, anytime there's any kind of sunshine. Well, and I'm typically barefoot most all the time. Even my husband makes fun of me because I'll be like, I'll have my little beanie on, a sweatshirt. I'll even put a jacket on, and I'm running around the house with no shoes on. He's like, put some shoes on.
Fireplace on top of the step there.
Yes, and I have to stand on the fireplace. Yeah. And I'm freezing. Yes. And on my phone. Yes. But I'm just like, I can't, but I miss the people and some sunshine and would like to
I
see
feel
more.
sunshine.
So I think I'm gonna, I don't have shows typically on Mondays now, and bumping into Alpha Warrior, hearing his story, and then asking him to come on Monday. I think I might start doing a magical internet friend Monday show.
Okay.
That's kind of how I started the channel, was doing the crypto journeys.
Yes.
And I would do people's story about how they got into crypto, what inspired them, all
Which
that.
dream? I remember the
Yeah.
questions.
Yeah. Yes. What's your crypto dream? So I may do that and start with my Patreon people and see, like, if anybody on Patreon wants to share their magical internet crypto journey, and just do like a series of magical internet friends.
Yeah, I think that's great because I loved, you did that. You kind of did the resurrection of that, Lazarus effect with Benny. I mean, you had him on, and I was like,
Yeah.
that's cool. You could see Benny. He talked about it. I'm like, wow,
That
that's
was
a
fun.
whole new insight, and and who he is. And you used to do that all the time. I mean, Ken
Mhm.
Bozak was one of the first ones. I think he was
Yeah.
wearing, and you had pink hair because he was on and all that.
Yeah, I had my hairdresser put a piece of pink hair in my hair. That
It
was
was cool
fun.
to
Yeah.
know people.
And get to know some of the people in the community that we bump into. And then I could even do like, I could interview like the guys from WBRT, from World
Yeah.
Blockchain Roundtable, and even maybe some of my DAO member friends, some of them are real private, but some of them I think would come on and do an interview with me. The very DAO member
It used
friends.
to be a concern of mine before I got into making videos and doing the thing I'm doing. But I got to the point, because you think, oh, my privacy, and I have kids, a family, I don't want to be doxing myself and showing who I am. I think we need to. I think we need to show our faces. I mean, and just like, hey, you know what? I'm here. I don't care. I'm going to do my thing. I've got my path, and I am who I am. And I'm tired of living in fear. I'm tired of worrying about, oh, this is going to happen, that's going to happen. Who cares? They're a bunch of freaking vampires. Enough. How do you put the vampire in the light? Come out in the light. That's what you got to do. I think that's how you win. We all get out in the light, and it's like, because that validates other people, because you come out of the shadows, and it's like, hey, that person, I can relate to him.
Yeah.
Her, and you get that vibe, and that's why the meetups are important. But in lieu of that, doing shows like that, it helps people to, it's like, I saw Sasquatch too. I'm not the only one. He did too. It's like, okay.
Yeah, so many of us have things in common with our stories, and or a little piece here, a little piece there that kind of crosses over, or we can connect with each other on different pieces. So I think it's important. The community thing is so important.
Leonie from Belgium. Leonie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, somebody from Belgium. I was watching Hash It Out because of Steak. Living in in that area, and it's like, you start connecting with people, and you start having shared experiences, and like, oh my gosh, this is pretty cool. We're not alone out there. There's people out there that believe the same thing we do. It's like, they don't that though.
I would love to have her on too and hear her story.
Great story, actually.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she was just buying a house either with crypto or because of
crypto. It allowed her to purchase a property, and she's like, okay, yeah, hold it and make a lot more money. But she said, I'm living in a house right now, I'm renting, and my landlord sucks. He doesn't fix anything. I'm not happy. I'm miserable. So crypto at this point has helped me to, purchase a house. Awesome. Well, good for you. Oh, but if you wait a year, you can have a mansion. It's like, I don't care. Right now, my life sucks. I can't live in this house. You got some landlord lording over me, and it's like, I don't want that. I just want to be free. I don't need all that. I just want to be free. And crypto's giving me the tool to do that. So take the opportunity and do it. Because now you're not going to stress out, and all the stress is the biggest thing in the world. All your organs, stress. So eliminate the stress. If you can eliminate the stress, who cares? And the money's done its thing. And, and then done. Who cares? I'm done. I'm done, free.
Yeah, no, for sure. We were talking about that.
Is really what it comes down to.
I think when I talk, it cuts you out. So I'm trying to really watch and not talk over you. I apologize.
I'll raise my hand.
No, I need to figure out a better mic. It's terrible. You go. Tag, you're it.
I got nothing. I got
Oh,
a whole list of things.
okay. I have a question for you. This came up and it triggered a memory, and I was like, that is true. Wait a minute. I was talking to this guy. He is a vintage flipper. He's really into toys and stuff, like vintage toys, collectibles, um, Hot Wheels, different. I can't even remember all the things he talked about because it was like incredible. Comic books, all that kind of stuff. And he said something about like, oh, I was asking about the business side of it and blah, blah, blah. And he's like, well, you don't pay taxes because these aren't new items. They've already had taxes paid on them. So reselling, you wouldn't pay taxes on them again. And I was like, well, huh? Is that like a thing? Is that per state? Is that
It's per person.
per person? Okay. I get you.
Make your choose.
I was like, that makes complete sense.
Sure it does. Okay, think about this. This is the absurdity of the whole thing. All right. So I get my paycheck, all the taxes come out of it before I get them, before it hits the bank, before it hits the, the routing number, all the taxes come out and, they're holding them to send them to the government. All right. And so I get what's left over. Then I go fill up the car, and then I pay the gas tax. And then, you go in, you buy something. Well, you pay sales tax. And, then I go home.
On money that's already been taxed.
You got to pay property tax now. And, it's just like everything's taxed and taxed and taxed and taxed. Every transaction. That's what they want, though. They want you to think every transaction needs to be taxed. Well, I mean, that's why they hate cash. That's why they hate crypto outside their system, outside of their casino, because they want you to volunteer into the vampire system. And they want you to do all these things. And I mean, 400,000 agents, I don't even know. Well, how many they hire? 89,000 agents. What difference does it make at this point? What difference does it make? Do your thing.
Yeah. And then when you look into like the history of where the taxes go and how they flow.
The corporation, just like Jeff says down there. I mean, it's all a big ruse.
It is. It's crazy to think about all of that.
So once your leg broken, the chance that your knuckles and kneecaps might get broken, or do you say, I don't care, bring it? Because that's what it is. It's just a mafia run game at this point.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, how many people do they have that are going to come break your kneecaps? Become the sheriff and don't worry about it.
Become the sheriff. I don't know if I would make a good sheriff.
Or support a good sheriff.
I could find a good sheriff to support. Like, I don't think I have to be all things to all people. I think I have to do for myself.
Right. You go live in the mountains, the Ouachita Mountains, and nobody's coming for you because they don't want to deal with the dogmen and the Sasquatches. They, like, I don't even want to go in there. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. So make friends with those kind of creatures, and then you're all good. You live in harmony and
that's mostly just like where the largest cash crop is in Oklahoma. That's where they used to grow all the weed.
Imagine that.
Back when it was illegal. Now that it's legal, it's much harder on.
Now you got to have a license and a farm.
Yes. Now the real thugs are getting the money. Yeah. It's miserable.
Now we don't have to fly it into Mina and and other places, and it's all, all regular.
And then they have, like what was it Schumer that said this week, well, we have to bring in the migrants, the illegal immigrants to pick up the rotting fruit or whatever ridiculous statement he said. Did you hear that?
He's an idiot.
He's an idiot.
He's an idiot. You're an idiot.
I mean,
how racist is that?
Oh my God.
I mean, really, how racist is that? It's like, what was it, McCain or one of the other, I don't even know, maybe a Lindsey Graham. I don't know, one of the rhinos and anti-American tyrannical people. We need the workers to come in. Who's going to cut the grass? I mean, who's going to trim the bushes? We need these people.
What's wrong with these people?
Okay.
Yeah.
We got 14-year-olds on iPads that can go out and do it too.
Yeah, for sure. I think about that, like when my parents, I mean, there were 3 of us girls and my baby brother. My older brothers were already in college or whatever when my parents got together. But when we moved to the farm, it was, well, it's hay season and girls get out there, and
The
we
double
figured
bounce,
out how to drive a tractor and
double bounce.
yes, and bounce a bale of hay and stack hay on the trailer and put the truck in first gear and point it down I mean, you figure it out. I mean,
Just get it done.
and brush hog the field and bottle feed the calves and yeah, because they said so. Yeah. And I didn't like it, but I did it. Yeah.
Right. And now you appreciate that, and you're like, okay, that's a lot of hard work.
It's a lot of hard work.
Come from, and I appreciate where things come from. I really don't want to do that work at this point in my life, but I respect those people who do.
Yeah, I do.
That have the red neck on the back because they work all day in the sun. That's where the whole redneck thing comes from.
That's right.
Necessarily a derogative thing. It's actually,
Yeah. And I think more and more of those skills are going to be appreciated as we rebuild America, as, people learn that, a diesel mechanic is quite a skill to have.
Yeah, because if you're in Chicago and you got an electric vehicle right now, you might want to get a job driving a tow truck. Just saying. Because
might be a good thing.
41% of your battery in the cold weather. And I thought I could go 300 miles. Well, you might only be able to go 200. And I'm like, yes, you can't make it here. Anyway.
Did Trump give Vivek the look? I don't know what the look means, but I had heard.
Or he does this.
Where he calls him out?
Yeah. The look is.
So people were like, oh, look, Vivek is talking so good about Trump and he's stepping down so that Trump can win. I was like, no, you guys people totally missed it. Vivek got called out for being a part of, he's an investor or somehow involved in either Moderna or Pfizer. I can't remember which one. He had like a day or two before this gotten called out for his part in being involved in all that. And then Trump drug him up on stage and said, here you go.
Boy, come on down.
Here's a microphone, Slick. Tell everybody.
Yes. Let's put him in the spotlight.
And that's what Trump has done over and over again. That's where people are like, oh, but he kept this person in position and he kept this person in position.
We'd be talking about those people if he hadn't dragged them out in the spotlight. So you got to look at it that way. It's like if Fauci didn't have the microphone every day, who would we blame? Well, pretty good target because he was kind of out there running his mouth every day and we got all the video, all this flip-flopping.
And now we're seeing it with Jamie Dimon.
Yeah.
Because Jamie Dimon said all these things before, but people don't remember.
No.
Too much fluoride.
Pretty much. Just ask those guys with the swastikas on their shoulder, about fluoride and why it was used. And then let's put it in the water supply. It's all good. Hey, you want your teeth fluoridated? No, I'm good.
No, thanks.
Byproduct of the freaking heavy metal industry. Steel industry, isn't it? I don't know. One of them. It's a byproduct. They got to do something with it. They got to make money on it. So the whole Vivek thing, I want to address that a little bit. I talked about it.
Go ahead.
He reminded me when I first saw him, he was very slick and very well spoken, just like Obama. That was my first thought, because when you saw Obama in the 2004 Democratic National Convention, he gave his big speech. It was a big launch. That was his big thing. Everybody's like, wow. And I even thought that, wow, this guy, he's got it down. He can talk and he's saying all the right things. And that's what Vivek does. And so, I mean, do you want to get fooled again? And that was my first thought. And then I start looking and I think, okay, it's very similar to Obama, to where it's like he came out of nothing, had all this seed money for this company, makes millions. And it's like, but it's not really making money. And, he cashes some out and makes 15 million where the company's really not doing anything. And you think, okay, who are the investors? And you start looking, you're like, wait a minute, it's the same people that are running the Bitcoin ETFs. Oh, okay. It's all good. and these are the people he's calling out. I
Mhm.
mean, hello, people. Let's really take a hard look at things. If somebody's that slick and that polished and says all the right things, I don't buy it. I can't buy it because I've seen the same game on the other side and they're doing it on this side. And I think, no, I ain't buying it. Nope.
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 And to go back to our cliff notes, if I, we keep saying like, I don't even think there's going to be an election, whatever, and throwing off authority and all that kind of stuff. And if this is Trump's second presidency right now as commander in chief, then that makes sense. And we really don't need authority over us. We are adults. We are divine, benevolent beings. You know,
think about it this way, Lisa, and I run this in the ground. I know I'm like a jackhammer. I pound the Sasquatch thing, but are they governed by anybody but themselves? No, they go off and do their thing. It's like, I want to eat blueberries today. Oh, a deer ran by. I want to eat that today. I'm gonna do what I got to do. And nobody's putting rules on any of this. I'm doing my thing like a lion. Okay, well, listen, today it's Tuesday. You need to, do this. No, I mean, this is the natural order of things. And I mean, they take care of themselves, do their things. It's just the way it is. And we can do the same thing. You got to look at your interaction on a daily basis. How much difference does it make who the president is, or who, if the government's going to be running till March now, it's all good, everything's fine. It's like, does it really matter? If DC shut down, does it really matter? Now, you might not get your Social Security check, but then it comes down to, okay, how can I get food? How can I, do the things that I need to do on a daily basis? Who do I know? Who can fix this? Who can fix that? The government is not scooping the driveway when it's snowing out here. The government is not coming out and fixing, the plumbing when it bursts. It does not, they don't do those things. And it's just like your day-to-day level of existence is not dependent upon the government because they don't fix anything.
No, in fact, we were having a very late lunch. Dinner. Is dinner a thing? Lunch and dinner today. And there was a unofficial / official, I don't know what was going on. One very loud, angry man, two beautiful ladies, and another gentleman who was trying to come to some solutions, talking about, I believe they were part of a tribe, some kind of tribe in Stroud. And the one guy who was really loud, I don't know that he was wrong. He just was very opinionated and very frustrated with the way things were being handled or run, and the BS of all of it. He was like, we put them on these committees and then they don't do anything. And then they come back to us and, they need to remember they asked to be put on that committee, and then they come back to us and nothing got handled and nothing, and they need to do this and they need to do and what we need to do and what we need to do. And we need to split up. If we don't have enough people at the Indian hospital, then we need to split shifts, and we don't need to be charging people or making people wait, or, he was he was very frustrated, but trying to come up with some solutions. And I thought, well, the first thing you need to do is get rid of that damn committee. Because it sounds like you guys they were sitting there and really they were coming together in a small gathering. They were trying to come up with solutions, and they were talking about like not splitting up the group, finding ways they could work together. And they found that like every time it goes to this committee, every time you give someone authority, it goes dead in the water, because then it goes behind closed doors and some deal gets made and nothing happens.
Right.
And so it was interesting kind of watching them get frustrated about that. He goes, and then they come back to us and they put it back in our lap. And, if we want something done, he's like, I know what's going on at your house, bud, with your family. And, but we can do this together, and I was like, okay.
No, that's good. And it's good that people get frustrated. I'm past the point of frustration. I don't care anymore.
Yeah.
I don't care, because you think about it. Okay, so somebody gets in a bad car accident, they take them to the hospital, and the doctors, they're like, all right, this is what I need to do. This guy's bleeding out. This is that. Are they asking, well, is this the proper thing to do? Should we take it to the board? Should we take it to a committee and we all doctors get together? Is this the right? No, I mean, it's just like, okay, or you see a car accident and the car's on fire and you're like, this person needs to get out, so
Right.
you don't even care. It's just like, whatever. And you rip them out and you scratch their leg or something. And you're like, am I going to get sued for doing this? No, you don't think about that because it doesn't matter. It's like, I'm going to do what I need to do right now. And, I'm not waiting for permission. I'm not waiting for somebody to tell me what to do. And so that's an instinctual thing. And again, it goes back to, I'm not looking to authority to say, well, maybe I shouldn't do. Is that a Democrat or a Republican? Maybe I should let them burn. I don't know. No, you shouldn't think that. Natural instincts. And that's why it gets back to the natural order of things. And we all know that at a gut level, what's right and what's wrong. And yeah, there are psychopaths out there, and they're usually the people on the committee, but or with the titles. But ultimately, in a daily reactionary level towards like, okay, this needs to be fixed. The house is on fire. Well, let's wait in the house and call the fire department.
Yeah, it's not time to change the drapes or decide what color to paint the walls when the house is on fire. Yeah, get out.
Nobody's coming to save you. You got to save yourselves. Basically, there are people coming to save you. And it's the relationships that you make. Those are the people who are going to save you. The community that you build, that's what's going to save you. That's what it comes down to.
And the choices you make to follow that. Yeah, I agree. This was the story that I have on screen right now is the story I've been talking about the last couple of days about the $400 million going to Red Cross to traffic humans out of Nogales, Mexico, through a church that is actually an old bank building, and then they traffic them over the border to Nogales, America, and then they fly them all over the U.S. And James O'Keefe went and tried to get film and all this, and they were trying to run him off and all this. And then they found out that he was a reporter. And he's like, yeah, we pay for this. The American people pay $400 million through the Red Cross. And that's when Cliff had said, this will be your last Christmas. I felt like when people give money in the little red bucket, ding-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling, I thought they're going to expose all the human trafficking. Think about what happened in Haiti. There are allegedly rumors that they were not doing appropriate things with the children in those places. So it'd be interesting to see if that comes out.
Well, remember Hillary's sidekick? She got caught, with these kids. It's like, where are you going with these kids? What are you doing? I mean, this is years ago.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
I mean, this goes on all the time. That's what they do. They're like, yeah, we own the judges. Yeah, we print the money. Yeah, it's all good. That's why it starts with the money. You got to exit the vampire casino and quit using their poker chips. Quit playing in that casino and do something. Find a way to like barter peer-to-peer, find relationships to where, quit feeding the vampire system. I mean, just whatever you can do. And I know it's a big task, but you got to start somewhere. You can't just say, well, I can't fight it. There's nothing I can do. Whatever. Somebody else got to deal with it. No, deal with it now. Deal with it every day, the best you can. And that's it. It is what it is. Yeah.
This was pretty, I'm sorry. What did you say, Westwood?
I said, starve it.
Yeah. We had Nathan Dam put up 2 bills in Oklahoma about schools. One is to start allowing gun courses in Oklahoma schools, which I think is excellent. They used to do that actually all the time. And the other one is to have Furbies, or what are they called? Furries. If a furry shows up at school, if the parents can't come pick them up immediately, then they're going to call animal control to come pick up a furry.
Take him to the pound.
You know what? You say you're a dog or a cat, then that's who comes to get you. So, because we would be offending you to have Child Protective Services come pick you up.
Well, yeah, I mean, you identify as a cat. I mean, so, we have to, maybe shoot a dart in you and tranquilize you because you're a little aggressive and put you in the white truck and take you to animal control and put you in the pound and put you in the shelter. Hopefully it's a no-kill shelter. I mean, who knows? I mean,
Oh my goodness. I guess the Argentina president told the WEFers to pound sand,
whiff off.
WEF off. That was great. And I heard that the Republicans, they passed a bill to continue our funding of the U.S. government through March or whatever, like you'd mentioned earlier. And
America.
apparently they passed, or they're passing, the Republicans proposed a bill to, I thought it was to defund the WEF, but maybe it was the WHO.
I think it's a WHO.
Okay, maybe it is the WHO.
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah. But we need our Ukraine money. We don't want to close the border till we get the Ukraine money. We're not going to vote till we get the Ukraine money. Oh, Lord.
Mm-hmm. And we know why.
Yeah.
There's Putin saying that previous U.S. elections were rigged through mail-in voting.
Oh, stop. That's fake news.
It must be.
That's been disproven.
Well, Putin.
That's he's a terrorist. Come on. Putin, dictator, evil, terrible.
Here's all the dead Teslas out in the freezing cold, piled up.
I mean,
that's not going to work well. Climate change.
Listen, if you live in cold weather, you know that your battery might go dead in your car. It might not start. Imagine if it's all dependent upon a big battery. What do you think is going to happen? I mean, cold weather is not good on batteries. And it's absurd. But this is what government gives you. We're going to fund it. Inflation Reduction Act. We're going to put money into all this battery stuff, and yeah, it'll be fine. How fine is it? And you see the videos of the people who are like, I'm going back to a gas car. The Uber drivers and taxi drivers like, F EV, I'm going back. And you look at Ford, they're stopping and they're basically shuttering, the Ford truck that's electric. Rivian down the road and Bloomington Normal, their stock prices is plummeting because, they make electric vehicles.
Mm-hmm. That's funny.
Battery vehicles. Come on.
Mm-hmm. Don't think that's going to go well for them. Yeah. But then at the same time, I'm like, oh, well, we're doing a huge lithium battery manufacturing plant here in Oklahoma, and Arkansas is mining lithium. But is it some kind of new form of battery, or like the Tesla energy involved in that, like some kind of alternating energy?
There's good uses for batteries and there's bad uses. I mean, if you're going to put a car that's outside in the cold and you think it's going to run because it runs on a battery, I mean, you're probably not going to do so well. But I mean, your phone needs a battery. All the electronic devices need batteries, all the small things. I mean, all the things need batteries.
Could you power your home better with a battery versus a car?
I mean, it's on what the battery is and what it's being used for.
Okay.
Again, it's just, you want to run a car and make it dependable in cold weather. You probably don't want to depend on a battery. I mean, imagine this. You think Russians are going to do EV vehicles in Siberia? No, they're going to have diesel trucks and they're going to put the plug in, so they can warm the diesel up. But, that's what they're going to use. It's just, but that's government telling you this is the right way because the carbon footprint's too big. And now you can track your carbon footprint with our new app and, see how damaging you are to the world as we fly into Davos or fly into wherever the hell they're at.
Yeah, they're hypocrites.
Why don't the doors fly off on those airplanes? That'd be kind of nice.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Yeah, that's that. Oh, yeah. This was another thing I wanted to talk about. I don't know if anybody else has been signed out by their, I've had the opportunity to speak with Bix on JC's channel on Monday. If anybody hasn't seen that yet, please go see it on Rumble. I was really proud of that and got to really share a lot of my thoughts that sometimes I can't say here. But I think it was a really good discussion. and he mentioned that I guess Google put out a I don't know if a warning is the right word, but they were saying that in case of a sensitive event, I think was the term they used, that they would be censoring communication if you sent any information along that might scare or upset someone if there happened to be a sensitive event. Which was very confusing. And then at the same time that happened, my son got signed out of his YouTube account, and they sent me an email saying that he was not old enough for it, which he is. And I got logged out of Zelle, which is a payment system. This is an account that I only use for one thing. It's not a big deal to me, but for me to log back in to use the Zelle app, I have to re-agree to new terms of service.
Yeah.
I'm like, no.
I'm out.
Mm-mm. So I was wondering if anybody else got logged out of their Zelle or Chase app and had to re-log back in or get re-validated. Oh, I'm not even sharing this with you guys. I thought I was.
But see, Lisa, I don't know if you can hear me on this. It's different. I don't know. I struggle with the microphone thing. Hopefully next week I get something different. I'm going to try something different all the time. But that's what they do. It's all contract stuff. You know, you sign in. It's like we talked about earlier. Oh, let's sign the birth certificate. Oh, let's sign the, what is it? The selective service. Oh, sign the driver's license. Sign all these documents, that basically give your freedom away. It's the same thing, oh, if you want to participate in Zelle, if you want, to be able to send transactions, and you just agree, okay? Just agree to the terms, and you got all these terms, you're like, what? And they check the box and hit submit. It's all good. Don't worry about it. And that's what they do, though. And then it's like, well, you signed it. I mean, you did submit it. So,
But I wonder, I'm just wondering, did other people get signed out as well?
It's like Coinbase does that stuff when the crypto market booms. Like,
Yeah.
oh, you need to re-authenticate, or you need to resubmit documents, or take a picture with your driver's license. While we're buying up all the Bitcoin and all the crypto.
Is that to push a bunch of people out of the market while they have time to?
It's possible. I mean, because you see that, I saw that so many times with, when the crypto market would boom in the past, and you want to buy, you're like, or it would dump. Bitcoin went to 36,000. I need to buy. And it's like, Coinbase is down. Or if it's up, it's like, oh no, you need to resubmit documents. Wait a minute. I've been doing this for 7 years. Right. I mean, why do I need to resubmit documents? You know who I am. Everything's linked up. Well, we're slow rolling you while BlackRock, gets the Bitcoin on the back end. Yeah, just saying.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
It's all a scam. It's all fake. I mean, the whole thing's fake. And so that's why we got to get real. And that's why we have to, like Cliff says, the authoritarian model, we have to just say, enough. We're done with it. The dollar bill with the pyramid, done. Or the dollar bill with the alien on it.
Well, I still have, I'm still waiting for either the blackout or a blackout of some kind. And, we had found some information. I don't know if it's true or not, but rumors or information, some other people's information, that the satellites had been corrupted. And so that the good guys were actually going to be taking the satellites down because, that was the other thing. Enes Kanter, Freedom, and Dr. Fu, was, they both spoke at this hearing about being bullied by other countries. They came here to escape tyranny, basically, became citizens, and then continued to be bullied and harassed by there's Chinese police stations and stuff here.
Yep.
And the Chinese, even though Enes Kanter is from Turkey, he was being harassed by the Chinese government because he was trying to tell about the atrocities that the Uyghur Muslim population face, and all of that horrible stuff. And so he used his tennis shoes during basketball games, all that kind of stuff. He ended up like losing his contracts, all this crazy stuff happened to him. And they like death threats on his family, Interpol, red list kind of crazy stuff. I mean, the stories they told were incredible of the harassment. I mean, not just harassment, I mean, threats on their lives and their families' lives that they went through. And so they were talking about all that stuff. You guys should definitely go listen to that. It's like 45 minutes, but it's, if we take our freedom for granted here in America so much, and these people came here with their families or to find freedom, to have a chance at freedom, and then they continue to be harassed. And Enos went to Biden and asked to speak to the president and or some of his staff and was refused, and told that it's because Biden is afraid of Erdogan, the Turkish president. And he's like, what are you talking about? You know, Biden is the president of the United States. He should be the strongest person in the world. Why would he be afraid of Erdogan? You know, and but just the whole thing was wild to listen to. And that's where something's wrong. We have to stop. This can't go on anymore. And we need to stand up for the people that are doing the right thing and be free for all of it.
I can't agree with you more. You know, I got written down here, unalienable right. And to break that word down, unalienable. I can't put a lien on it. And then you think about all that can of worms that it opens up. A lien, you know, and who puts a lien on? You know, if you have an unalienable right, I mean, there ain't no bank, ain't nothing come and take that right. You know what I mean? Because it's a corporation working in their structure across the bar, all that stuff. No, unalienable, alien, alien. Yeah, there you go. I got some of those somewhere. Right here. Yeah. Westwood Black. Courtesy of the lovely Litecoin Lisa. On the alien invasion.
I'm ready for the alien invasion.
On your birthday. It's your birthday.
This was my birthday party. We all did a non-resident alien invasion at Westwood.
All right. We're going to be unalienable.
We're going to be unalienable.
Yeah, we'll have nothing and we'll be happy. It's like, that's because it ain't my name anymore. You know, that's what I was going to get to. Somebody asked me about check my notes. Quit claim deeds. And, you know, I bring this stuff up to where it's like, why do you have anything in your name anymore? You probably shouldn't, because that's what they go after. And, you know, that's
especially when your name isn't yours.
Yeah. So, I mean, they go after your social security number and your identity and, you know, who you are and what jurisdiction and where you live and all this stuff. Okay. So don't have it in your name anymore. You know, put it in an LLC, put it in a corporation, put it in, you know, something else, put it in a church, you know, whatever. And look at Warren Buffett. Do you think he owns anything in his name? No, he doesn't own anything in his name. Nothing. You think any of these people, they put it in a trust, they put it in something else. And, you know, and so a quit claim deed, somebody asked about that and said, well, how do you do that? And it's like, well, you just give up your rights to something else. And it may be an LLC that you control. It may be, you know, a trust that you control, but it's not in your name. So if somebody tries to come take it because, oh, you're a bad guy. Well, I don't own it. Oh, okay. Well, shoot, I guess we can't do anything, you know? And so it's just something you got to look at these things. You got to look at bypassing, you know, basically using the system, using the rules that they've created. And, you know,
think about when
research
before Prince died and he made himself that symbol or whatever.
Yeah. I think about it. It's like, why would he do that? It's like, well, I'm no longer this person. I used to be Prince, but before that I had a name, but then it was Prince. Now it's a symbol. And it's like, no, you can't come after anything I have because I own nothing. I don't own it. You know, I'm like in a different realm.
A whole different realm. Yeah.
Yeah. And so you got to start looking at those things, everything they've told you. Well, buy a house, put your name on it. You buy a car, have your name on it. You own it, baby. It's yours. And then they come repo it, or they come take your house because, you didn't pay your
Well,
taxes.
they want you to take a loan out
Yeah,
because that's how they create more interest.
And that's it. The banks are the dirtiest. The Fed is horrible, but the banks are worse because 9 times the money you put in $1,000, they loan out 9,000. Created money.
That money doesn't even exist.
They just create it
until you go in there and write your name down. Yes. They want you to go buy stuff so you can write
power.
They don't even have that money. Yeah.
You have the power to create and manifest, and they know that, and they use it against you. And housing prices are out of control. Well, just come in and sign. It's no big deal. We'll just give you the money. Then you can't pay it, and they take it. Geez, they want the assets. Get the real assets. They never
had the money in the beginning.
No, they don't have it.
Crazy.
No, they don't have it. They don't need it because you volunteered to, let them have it. Basically, gave them your power. You played in the casino and you lose. Goodbye. Good day, sir. You lose.
I did want to mention Jenny answered a question when I was asking about will the normies know about so then nothing can stop what's coming. Trump did those I keep wanting to say meetups, but the rallies, and that's women, infant, and children, national whatever of indigenous women, infant, and children, and or search for indigenous women, infant, and children, and it's about the missing indigenous women, infant, and children. And then Jenny was like, oh yeah, there's Savannah's Act. And I hadn't heard of Savannah's Act, so I started looking that up. Well, then just recently we had, how you have Amber Alert where a kid is missing or whatever and your phone goes off? Well, we had one called Casey's come up on our phone in Oklahoma the other day. And we're like, what the? And everybody's like, what the heck's a Casey's alert? So you look it up, and a Casey's alert is when a tribal person is missing. And then when Trump got done speaking at this was on January 15th. He went into a case.
Yeah. Welcome to Casey.
That's a little bit slippery out there, but we made it. I hope everybody's having a good time. Tomorrow's a big day, I think, for our country. I want to thank Governor Burgum and Mr. Burgum. Thank you very much. It's such an honor. We just had a very nice endorsement, and we're honored by it. And a very respected man. That's a very respected family in North Dakota. And you've been a great governor. I will tell you. So thank you, sir. I very much appreciate it. And a great first lady. Great. Even better.
And that's where there's huge tribal lands in North Dakota. It's 33 minutes long or 33 seconds long. And they're at a Casey's. That's an alert. Some of these maybe, how we've all been, or a lot of us have been waiting for the EBS, the alerts, the whatever. These are some of the alerts. Some of it's not so blatant, obvious happening like we thought it was going to happen, I don't think. But it is still happening.
I got an alert on my phone. My Casey's Pizza is ready. So there you go.
There you go.
Yeah. Well, I got a free Casey's Pizza coming, unironically, unironically. I don't know. Tonight. It's going to be showing up. It's a taco pizza.
That sounds creepy after what we were just talking about.
They forgot the refried beans. What can I say? Anyway.
Okay. Is your neighbor home?
My neighbor's in the chat.
I saw your neighbor in the chat.
He's not home.
Okay, I thought maybe.
Well, define home.
Well, I know. I thought maybe he was across the street.
In this weather?
No, that's true. Why would he be?
Come on, man.
When he had other options, that's probably not the best place to be.
No. Those solar panels are looking good with all the snow on it right now. I don't know,
There you go. Oh my. Yes, he's giggling. What else? There's so much good stuff this week.
What do you want me to take a broom over there? No. Evergrande. We forgot about Evergrande. See, this is how things just gone. It was postponed in December because everybody's like, oh my God, Evergrande. It's going to ripple. It's going to do all these things and, bring down derivatives. And they put it off until January 29th. So I got that written down. I'm kind of waiting to see what happens on January 29th.
Okay.
We're in this.
That's the wolf moon.
Is it on the 29th?
It's either the 25th or the 29th. Oh, I don't have my little calendar back here. Do I? Oh, I think I need a new calendar.
It's just something to keep an eye on because that is something that could blow things up, and they keep kicking the can on that. And then the 29th is the next date. You know how that is, getting dates in court, kicking the can. But that's what they've done with Evergrande. And so I'm waiting for that moment, that crescendo moment, that watershed moment, that cliff eye moment, the viewing, the remote viewing moment to where something happens. I think it has to happen though, just because I'm kind of into crypto. It has to happen before April, because I think once April comes, floodgates are opened, and then, they start printing and everything just goes haywire. So I think between now and then they have to have some scare moment because they want to confiscate assets. They want to play their shenanigans and get as much as they can in their possession before it's too late and they can't control the system anymore and it just goes kabooey. And so I think we're in that time frame, and Evergrande might be one of those things that kind of kicks it off. I don't know, but it's just we're just in that weird period right now to where a lot of things can happen. And I think because I know where I was, March of 2020, that's when we had the massive crypto dump. When you look on the chart, it was like March 13th, Friday the 13th or something, March 15th, Ides of March. I don't know, right around there, a significant date because that's what they
Isn't
like.
that Jesus' birthday?
It could be because, we say it's Christmas, but
because Trump said we were supposed to get new phones by Christmas. And I'm thinking, like, if the satellites go down, the corrupted satellites go down and we go to Mars.
And he said we had 5 months. Where are we at in that time frame? We're getting close.
That's about
There's
right.
A lot of things kind of coalescing between now and April, and it's probably going to be the Ides of March 15th, the whole Julius Caesar thing.
So then we could get the new Tesla phones and maybe use Doge or Litecoin. This is just all hypothetical. What if?
Okay, did you see PayPal, the CEO? I don't know. I didn't vet it very well, but I mean, I saw a lot of posts about it.
We're just talking at the bar.
Yeah, exactly. We're just talking smack, a bunch of drunk talk. But the CEO of PayPal said on January 25th, a week, which was yesterday or something, a week from now, PayPal will shock the world on the 25th, the 25th of January.
Oh,
so what's PayPal going to do? What's PayPal going to do? What's the shock the world moment that they're going to do? I don't know.
Why would he say that?
I know. Why would you say something like that? You're putting a timeline on it? Really? So I'm going to wait till the 25th and see what he comes out with. Maybe nothing. But I don't know. There's things happening. And I think between now and April, probably before the 20th, because that's the whole Hitler thing and a lot of occultic dates, on the 20th of April. Probably before then, we're going to see some crazy things.
That's the shot heard around the world. It has to do with the April 20th too. Some of those.
That's a big date, 19th, 20th. If you look back, they like to pull shenanigans in that time frame leading up to May 1st. It's a big sacrifice period, and so they'll sacrifice something, and then the new thing will come. The rebirth. And so, what do you do to prepare for that, Lisa? What do we do?
That's what I'm going to do.
There you go. That's what I'm saying. That's what you do.
Because I don't know.
Bottoms up.
Bottoms up.
Down the neck.
Crazy.
Cry me a river. Bankrock. I can't even read my own writing. BlackRock has 25,000 Bitcoin in their possession. Probably more today. That was like yesterday. 25,000 Bitcoin. Now let's break that down. 25,000 Bitcoin that they state is in the ETF. That is like 27 days of Bitcoin supply coming onto the market, because right now there's 900
their
Bitcoin.
Wallet.
Well, that's it. I mean, are you going to see it? You would think Bitcoin would be $100,000 right now with all that money.
Where's the
starting to roll
market
in.
move?
But it's
then?
41,000. It went down. And you got to think, okay,
Oh.
so is this just another control mechanism? I think they're going to control it. And that's like I say, I think everything's coalescing around that. You know, once it gets to that Bitcoin halving, those dates, I mean, once you get after April, I think they kind of open the floodgates because they're going to have to. But until then, they want to soak up as many assets and kind of get their ducks in a row. And so I think this is an opportunity. I think it's an opportunity for people to, you know, get assets in their possession while you can and get what you need, because after that, I mean, it could go absolutely crazy. You know, I mean, you might not be able to get what you need. You might not be able to buy Bitcoin. Probably won't be able to buy Litecoin because, you know, it will take its place as sound money for the digital age at that point. And you'll see $1,000 Litecoin before the end of 2024. Just saying. I'm on the record.
All right. You heard it here.
You heard it here.
You heard it here, folks.
But what does that mean? What's $1,000 at that point?
Yeah. Is it like the $600 silver that Uncle
Maybe
Cliff
nothing.
says you don't want to live in that world?
Yeah, maybe nothing.
Because
Maybe it means nothing.
how much is milk?
No. You better have a cow. Better have a dairy cow. Better have your chickens so you can get your eggs, you know, instead of paying $10 for an egg.
Dang. Per egg.
You never know. I mean, how much is that worth if you go back to a point where nations reset and it's like, okay, you got what you got and that's it. How much is that chicken worth, you know, that lays the eggs? You know, I don't know. You know, how much is that water in the desert worth? How much is that Bitcoin worth? How much is that Litecoin worth that actually has a use case that you can do something with? I don't know, because we've lived in artificial reality for so long. When you break out of that matrix and real stuff matters.
There's a movie where New York like freezes over. I can't remember what it's called. And a hierarchy of culture changes because homeless people's survival skills become so valuable that all of a sudden he's not the dumbest guy in the room, because he knows, hey, take all those books in this library and shove them in your clothes to keep yourself warm. And he starts telling people like how to survive, and all of a sudden he's held in esteem in the community. And so like we could go through some things like that too, where like a culture change of hierarchy could change too, you know, and that's what Uncle Cliff's talking about, where like this authoritarian regime bullshit, like we stop trusting the liars and the thieves and the scammers, you know, and the banksters, and stop asking permission, and we start trusting ourselves. And
if New York freezes over, I think I'll go to the sewers because they're probably going to be warmer, but that's beneath most people, you know, pun intended. I'm not going down there. I'm not going to survive underground. And what are they doing though? All these people with wealth, you know, artificial wealth in this casino, what are they doing? They're building underground bunkers. I mean, they're going to places to where, and again, what do the animals do? How do they survive? What's the bear do? Hibernates in the winter. I mean, you know, what do? They dig a hole, they go underground. And it's just like, these are common sense things. Hey, do you want to live in a river that floods all the time and then next to the river? Well, probably not. Well, but we have FEMA insurance, so it's okay. You know, we'll rebuild it. I mean, you know, maybe we get back to the basics. Maybe, you know, all the things we're told that have value, that, you know, that's a beautiful view, $1 million view. Then you get flooded out and you're like, okay, now I got black mold all over the place. I mean, you know, maybe we start thinking, okay, what's the best way to survive? And what are the things that are real that are going to sustain themselves outside of an artificial system? And I think that's that mentality that we have to have going forward, because they've sold us a bill of goods that it's not sustainable, you know, because it's been sustained by artificial money.
Well, and then you do start valuing each other. That made me think of where you value community more. And like in a poverty culture, I go back to like one of the things that I learned in my journeys, and especially doing like inner city ministry stuff, that was so powerful, that really was so valuable to me, was that there's one chart in the whole book that explains the entire book, but it's the Framework of Understanding Poverty Culture by Ruby Payne. And you can probably Google just the chart and it would help you understand the whole book. But it talks about like the belief systems of poverty culture, middle class, and wealthy culture, and what they value and why, like, what's important to them. And if we were to have that much of a paradigm shift, where, the internet went out and nobody's taking selfies and gives two craps about showing off to strangers or whatever, and you really are trying to get food, and you would, in a poverty culture, they don't care about things, they care about community, because a thing can only feed you one time, but a neighbor can feed you multiple times. Together the two of you can build a garden multiple times, or community resources.
You're reading my mind. I was thinking Victory Garden at that
Yeah.
same moment, because that's what it's going to take.
Mhm.
It's like, what do you need at the very basic sustenance level? You
Mhm.
need food, water, and shelter. Okay, so you need food and water. Shelter, you can dig a hole if you have to, but I mean those are the key things. I mean, you don't need a gated community at that point. I mean, you're a target, and it's just, you've got to be able to. Everybody get some heirloom seeds while you can, and just throw them in the freezer. I mean, because I have seeds out here that have just fallen off of all the plants, and the seeds are on the ground frozen. I mean, talk about massively frozen. But next year in the spring, they'll just pop up. A lot of people
Mhm.
call them volunteer plants.
Yeah.
They just voluntarily come up.
Yeah.
And it's but that'll happen, and you think, holy crap, how did it survive the winter? Okay, so get a can of heirloom seeds that you can get for like $30 right now. Throw them in your freezer.
Yeah.
And then when you need them in the spring, just start experimenting. If you got a little tiny plot of land, if you got a windowsill with some dirt, I mean, just start doing that and watch the miracle of life, and understand what can come out of that, and how blessed you are that the universe provides. But
You can
it
use
won't provide if you don't participate.
Yeah, Nana taught us to use egg crates as like seed starter
Yeah, the
things.
little egg. Yes.
Yeah, and then you can put them in your windows, or she has grow lights and stuff, of course, but
Right. You can go big. You can
but
go
yeah,
big like
but you
Nana.
can put them in your window. I pulled a Westwood and hit the sorry.
I know. I'm like, was that me? Was that
No,
me?
I pulled a Westwood and hit the
You got me all
table.
insecure now. I can't.
Sorry.
No, that's all right.
Yeah, light shadow. I'm kind of thinking what you're thinking, especially with Elon. And I thought
That's his background, though. I mean, he was the fundamental founder of PayPal, and then
right. They have a history?
Yes, he was part owner of PayPal, and then he sold it off, and got out of it. And I think he was kind of shoved out.
But
But
did he? Yeah.
at that time though, that's where his X concept came up. That's when he bought the domains. That's when he had this X factor, X file, whatever you want to call it. That's when he had that epiphany or plan, whatever, at that time. And now you see he's got the X platform, and now will it go full circle? I don't know.
Crap. That's crappy for me, because I got kicked off of Venmo for like, supposedly they banned a bunch of Patriot people. So I can't have a Venmo account, but I do have a PayPal though. So
Which
maybe
is funny because PayPal owns Venmo.
I know, but I'm not able to log on or have a Venmo. I've tried it multiple times.
Well, just create a new identity.
Yeah,
Just do it. Just here's what you do: take a little vacation, and just walk across the border and come back. Create your new identity.
Yeah, I think I would have to get like a new phone and be at a different IP, or I don't know how you undo your. One of my friends talked to me about having phones with like the old flip phones with no batteries, or taking out the battery, something about the battery with old
Yeah,
phones.
because you can't take them out now. It's all embedded. I mean, you got to have a tool to do it. But yeah, you used to be able to take the battery out. Remember that? You
Yeah,
used to be able to put a little card in, a memory card in it. No, now you got to pay for the card, and all that.
right.
It's
So they
embedded.
can always track you. They can always listen to you now. You can never be private or alone if you're with your phone, but the way to do it, the old school way, is to get those old phones and then take the battery out and the thing out. I don't know. Maybe our new Tesla phones will have that.
I don't know. I think what happens is, as scared as we get, and some people get, and you can't allow yourself to be mind controlled, in thinking that they have it all under control. You know, it's the 1998 movie. I think it was 98 with Gene Hackman and Will Smith, Enemy of the State. You know, where they're tracking and controlling everything through satellites. John Voight's like the undersecretary of NSA or some stuff. You know, he's tracking everything. He's going rogue, you know, killing people. And, you know, he's tracking these people and satellites. And this is 98. And, you know, they were telegraphing, because that existed even then. They're telegraphing, you know, what kind of police state or what kind of lockdown state. But I mean, you get too far into that and you think, can they really do that? I mean, you know, how many people, how many resources does it take? I mean, it takes boots on the ground. It takes people to volunteer into it. It takes people to say, yes, I'm going to be complicit in this crime. And, you know, I don't know. I mean, we just have to get to the point
Well,
where,
that's why they had AI, because AI started
takes the
listening
humanity out
to,
of it.
they couldn't have enough man hours to listen to everybody. So they developed AI. AI started listening to everybody's stuff. And then something happened. Oh, I can't remember. There's some story to that where they ended up having to develop something else. Crap, I can't remember the story now.
You know, we
Anyway,
have Alexa and Siri.
all the things.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Ask Siri if happy hour is right for you.
ask her to subscribe you to
Yes. Subscribe me to Happy Hour.
Happy Hour.
Hit a thumbs up on
Hit
Lakeland
the
Lisa's
thumbs
channel.
up on the channel and this video. Share this video.
Does not compute.
Ask Alexa and Siri to make a comment for you. Post a comment for you. Oh my.
Crazy. It's
Yeah.
crazy. But you know, if you live
It's
in
an
fear,
exciting time though. I mean,
it is an exciting
because things
time.
are
You know,
changing so much.
why else would you want to choose to come back at this time other than to experience, you know, this craziness? And you can allow yourself to become crazy because they want to make you crazy, or you can just say, you know what, none of this matters. It doesn't matter. It's all
Yeah.
tough.
Uncle Cliff said, yeah, they're always saying things and they've always been saying things. And he's like, I'm gonna go out and do some chores. And when I come back, they're gonna be saying some more things.
They're gonna be saying, keep saying, they're still talking. Yeah.
I was like, okay, I know you're right. Okay.
Right. And I think that's why it's so important. And, you know, I've been fortunate enough to see where I'm at, you know, because I look at the map all the time. I check housing in different places, you know, and this and that. And then I think, okay, but you know, where I'm at, I'm fortunate enough that, you know, the glaciers happen to come down and, you know, cover Illinois and make all this fertile soil to where you can put a little seed in there.
Yeah.
You see the magic, and you see the magic of that. And then you think, why can't we survive? I mean, why can't we survive in the midst of tyranny? You know, it's happened time and time and time again to where, you know, you have to kind of break free from it. And just, if I don't listen, what, I make one video a week now on my YouTube channel. If you don't pay,
I post on yours too. Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't post today.
Oh Lord,
I'm sorry.
that's all right. But it's, you're the only thing sustaining me right now, Lisa. I don't make any content. You know, I gotta vicariously live through happy hour on my channel. No, but it's, if you're not paying attention to it, you don't know this happened. If you don't turn on the Today Show, you don't turn on the, you know, the morning thing. Do we know that Tomahawk missiles are getting shot off using a monster box of silver every time? Do we know that Japan bought 400 or maybe 4,000 Tomahawk missiles? I mean, do we know that these things are going on? I mean, is it part of your reality? And it gets into a whole philosophical thing to where if tree falls in the forest kind of thing, to where it's like, it doesn't affect my daily life because I don't allow it to affect my life. And yes, it will at some point possibly, you know, affect your life, but look at the anguish and the excitement. This is like the whole 3-year thing 3 years ago. Man, I got so many things I can think about. We got to do spaces. I mean, I'm thinking about year 0 where Cliff did that thing at the Litecoin Summit with Bix, you know,
Yeah.
his year 0
Year
is
0 was
2020.
2020
was going to be year 0.
Okay.
And so it's like this reset, this new paradigm that they're trying to roll out. And it started. And then what happened? They rolled out this, you know, fake thing, you know, that was a common cold. And they extrapolated that into something terrible that, oh my gosh, look what's happening. Look what's happening. Is that your reality though? Did that really happen? Or was it just people catching the cold? And, you know, and people that couldn't, you know, like defend themselves against it, you know. Anyway, the numbers are all rigged. But it's, what does what do you allow into your life, into your mindset? We allow the dollar bill to like control our lives and be the end all be all. You know, whoever has the most wins. Is that really what it is? If you buy into that, yes. If you play in the casino, that's what matters. Those stacks of poker chips matter. But if you're not in the casino, that doesn't matter. It's like, okay, you know, I got a bunch of tomatoes I'm gonna eat, you know, because I put seeds in the ground. None of the poker chips matter at that point. And it's you know, I got so many things in my head and I can't even express
Sports
it.
Illustrated laid everyone off today.
Yeah, because who cares? It's all a fake game. It's all
Well, didn't they do some
bread and
work
circus.
cover
Probably.
of dudes last year?
Yeah, I think they did. They don't have the beautiful models from the 80s on there. It's like, oh, that's a
So
beautiful
last
woman.
year they did
I like looking at that, but I
they
don't like
did
looking at
gay
that.
dudes or trans people or something last year, I believe.
Speaking of which, you know, happy birthday, Michelle Obama. She's 60 this week, you know, so I just want to throw that out there. Happy birthday to the lovely person, or, you know, one of the best people I've ever been around, Barack says.
Big Mike.
Not woman. One of the best people, persons, or whatever.
May you choke on your birthday cake.
May you drown in shallow water on a you know, little.
Yes. May you drown in shallow waters, Big Mike.
Yeah.
Hope you have a good swim.
It's just all fake. Everything's fake. You know your own reality. You got to look inside and trust yourself, and know what really affects you, and know what vibration, what frequency you get from other people, and be around those people rather than allow yourself to be enslaved at a distance, because that's all it is. You're being enslaved at a distance by a bunch of people. Think about the people that are telling you, oh my gosh, this is horrible. We got climate change. Oh, we got this war, that war. And then if you turn the camera around, you got a bunch of guys with, you know, scraggly beards and guts hanging out, you know, dressed in flip-flops, you know, holding the camera. You know, this is the studio, the artificial reality that they're creating, reading the teleprompter. And I mean, it's just all fake. It's all fake. I mean, you're going to let that be your reality?
Pregnant man emoji or whatever. I'm like, what the hell has come to our world? And cat boxes in the children's bathroom, and they were putting tampons in the men's military bathrooms, and so then the military men were getting pissed off and ripping them off the wall, and then they were getting in trouble for that. I'm like, no, let them get mad and be men and rip that shit off the wall.
Right.
Like, that is what we need. We need our country to get mad and rip some shit off the wall when it doesn't belong there. Like, that's ridiculous.
Mad as hell, and I'm not going to take it anymore.
Yeah.
I'll just like fade off like Homer Simpson into the bushes, and it's like, all right, y'all have your bread and circus, y'all have your fun. I'm gonna go over here and do what I'm gonna do, and yeah, good luck to you.
Oh my gosh, it's so crazy. I can't wait for this spring and summer. Like, I just feel like the story gets better and better. I mean, like, I was very disturbed over the diamonds and the children, and the, you know, it was very obvious to me that they were, you know, when they made the gingerbread house for the White House, and then I kind of was just putting all the pieces together that, oh my God, they were cooking the children at Epstein Island. Like, they were burning them in the oven.
That's what they do. They've been telling these stories forever.
Well, the irony is that people are so thinking that, oh, the horrors of the ovens of World War II. But are people just as upset about the ovens on Epstein Island and the cooking that was going on there?
What about Hansel and Gretel? Where's the justice?
No.
Grimm fairy tales. A lot to be learned from that. Go get a cheap copy, because you can get them real cheap, and read Grimm's fairy tales, the Brothers Grimm. Read that stuff, because that's the mentality of the people who are running things right now. They're the people who lure you into the house and then try and throw you in the oven. I mean, you know, this is the vibe. This is the frequency at the top of the pyramid that needs to be just like collapsed, done. And these people have no power unless we give them the power. We are the energy source. We are everything. We give life to everything, and that's why they want to steal it from us in all these magical ways, you know, with these dollar bills with the aliens on them, you know.
Yeah, show them that. Hold on, I'm gonna make you
dollar bill, y'all. All right, so this right here, if you really look at it, it's like the magic eye I was telling Lisa about.
Yeah.
If you look at that dollar bill and fold it and look at it, you can see an alien face. I mean, you see
the beak
on
of
the
the
forehead,
alien?
the mouth. and then the eye,
And then their
and then like the
eyes.
wing coming up on both sides. I mean, when you just take your
Yeah.
dollar bill and look at it and stare at it cross-eyed,
And then
you know,
it's
like
like
you did the
this.
magic eye puzzles from the
Mhm.
80s, 90s. And then
Yeah.
it's like, oh, all of a sudden, once you see it, like, oh, I can't unsee it. And it takes you like 10, 15 minutes. Like, I don't, you know, but once you see it, you're like, oh, okay, yeah, that does kind of make sense. Why is that on there? Who would do something like that? Oh, we love George Washington. We're going to put his portrait on the front, but yeah, we're going to put all this hidden symbology on it. You know, you get into Cliff and the L and all that, you know, and it's like, maybe he's onto something. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's very interesting. There's also in a lot of these small towns, a lot of the Masonic lodges have like closed down. I thought that was interesting that I've noticed. Um,
Have you seen those rituals that have been leaked? I mean, that they go through, you know, it's like,
where they
what's
marry the little boys that they
Abiff,
have
what's his
serving
name?
them.
Simon Abiff or whatever. Hiram Abiff, you know, where they go, oh, Hiram Abiff going into the temple and doing all this. Oh, yeah, we killed him. Oh, we need to carry his body out. I mean, all these mock things that they
It's
do.
weird.
And I'm like, you're a bunch of grown ass men participating in this absurdity. What's wrong with you?
It's
I mean,
weird.
what are you really like doing? Do you understand the ritualistic nature of all these things that you're doing? And I mean, and what that really means? I mean, you know, what? Seriously? Trust yourself. You know, you got the hotline to God right inside of you. You got the DNA. You got all the things. You think of the churches. You ever see the churches, you know, with the big, you know, the glass, the round glass, you know, with all the designs on it and all these churches, you know, you get into the, you know, the whole what's the word for it? What, you know, the mud floods, what's the Tartarian Empire. You get into that stuff and you start looking at the glass and you think, oh, is that like the top of the DNA? You know, looking at it, you
Oh,
know,
I
these,
see
you
what
know,
you're saying. Yeah.
yeah, and so all the signs are in front
Mhm.
of you, and ultimately it just comes down to you don't need any of it. You don't need any of it. You know, you can just walk outside and say, okay, I'm gonna hit my knees and pray or whatever. You don't even need to do that. You just go out and just reconnect with the source, reconnect with who you really are. You don't need a middleman. You don't need anybody in between you and, you know, your creator and what has put you here in the path that you're following. Follow your path. Quit looking for answers from external sources when you have all the tools inside. And I think that goes back to what Cliff was kind of saying in that reality that he has, where it's like none of that matters anymore. You know, we're back to the source, and the source is you, source of everything. You're connected to it. Lord.
Time to go.
Give me the spirit. Pour me some spirit.
Time to go. Yeah, we talked about Vivek earlier and that he had been called out for being involved with the Jabberwocky. That's okay. No, we're happy that you're here. Great to see you. And glad to have you joining us. And we are going to be doing a spaces later tonight on Clint Clint Westwood, all caps _ on Twitter.
Yeah.
So you guys join us there as well. And I'm very sorry for not hitting the record on Clint Westwood at the beginning. I went ahead and added it. So I don't know if it'll go back and like let the whole thing stream. I'm going to try to upload it from StreamYard afterwards. I think I can do that.
That's
So
okay.
play
Just
around with it.
go to clintwestwood.net and there's a Twitter link up there. I haven't changed it to X yet. Hit that and then, you know, get on Twitter, subscribe, and then, you know, when we go live a little bit later, hop in, ask for a microphone and say, hey, I got something to say. And, you know, you don't have to show your face. Just get out there and just we'll talk amongst ourselves.
And I have Clint Westwood, a link to his website in the description of this video, as well as a link to my website in the description of this video. You can check out all the ways to connect with me and Westwood. And when we get back on the road, there will be a calendar on there and links to connect with us. Also, there is a Go Shopping with Lisa page for all my vintage stuff if you guys want to check that out, and the latest coupon and all that stuff. And I'll be putting up a new video for that too. So,
and I'll be going green this year on the road. I'm going to knock the floorboards out. I'm going to go Flintstone, and I'll make it. You know, just give me the dates and give me a lot of lead time, and I'll pedal my way there.
you'll make it there. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You're crazy. All right. Good to see you all. Hang in there. Have your assets in your own possession. Go alien. Go non-resident alien with us.
Be unalienable.
Be unalienable. Don't let anyone lean
Unalienable.
on you. Yeah.
Yes.
Lean on me, because I'll be your friend.
You realize now you can go on YouTube and instead of watching the video, you can see the transcription. There's a button you can push to where it transcribes all the words. And I've looked at it. I'm like,
Oh, yeah.
this is how they're banning you. Because when I
Oh.
sing, if I say the right words in the song, they're like, oh, okay, we're going to give you a strike because he was singing. You know, he's using the words, the verses of that song. And I think that's how
Oh,
they're.
so if you just say the wrong words.
Yeah, if I say it wrong, which I usually do because I don't know the lyrics, you know, it's like,
Mm.
that's what I need to do, you know, say the wrong thing, and then maybe you won't get the strike or the copyright infringement crap.
Yeah. I got another one today. But I think it's because I was sharing WBRT, like I rebroadcasted WBRT to help share that show on my channel. But then I forgot to turn off monetization. And so I think you can't monetize if it's first shared on another channel. So, but anyway, it was interesting.
You know,
So you guys check all those out, and thanks for joining us in the chat. Love all your conversation. Love having you guys check in. It's good to see all of you guys and hear what's going on. We miss all of you and can't wait for all of us to get back together again. And Mark, sending you and your beautiful wife lots of love and hugs. And we'll see you guys, or hear you guys.
we'll hear you guys later. I'll hear you later.
Hear you later.
Check you later.
Check you later.
America's not the government, people. The America is you. It is the Grand fucking Canyon, the Rocky Mountains, the deserts of the Southwest, the Pacific fucking Ocean, the Atlantic fucking Ocean. It is the grandest continent. And what the fuck have you people done? You have turned yourself into sheep, every goddamn one of you.